All right, let's get right into it. We're going to crack the code of everyday English. You know those common phrases you hear all the time? Well, a lot of them have these hidden meanings, hiding just under the surface.
Have you ever had that feeling where you hear someone say something simple, but everything about the situation, their tone, the context, it just screams that there's a deeper message you're supposed to catch? Well, let me tell you, you're not imagining things.
So look, this is not going to be some boring vocabulary lesson. No way. Think of this more like an investigation. We're putting on our detective hats to uncover the secret clues native speakers use all the time. You'll see how a few simple words can carry a whole world of meaning.
Okay, our first stop on this investigation is all about sound. Seriously, we're going to look at how a speaker's tone can grab one little phrase and twist it into three completely different ideas. And our first piece of evidence is a real chameleon. The phrase, "come on." Now, on paper, it's just two words, right? But in a real conversation, it's a powerhouse of emotion. And it all comes down to the delivery.
Just listen to this. First, you've got encouragement. It's upbeat, it's supportive. Come on, you can do it. Then there's impatience. The tone gets sharp, urgent. Come on, we're going to miss the train. And finally, total disbelief. It's skeptical, kind of drawn out. Oh, come on. You really expect me to believe that? See? Same words, three totally different worlds. All right, let's move on to our next piece of evidence. Because, it's not always about how you say something. Sometimes it's about where and when you say it. In these cases, context is absolutely king.
Okay, take the phrase, "be my guest." The dictionary will tell you it just means you're giving someone permission. Hey, can I borrow your pen? Be my guest. Simple, right? Well, not so fast. The story can change a lot, depending on the scenario.
This is where you, the detective, have to look at the clues in the situation. So picture this. There's a huge cake with plenty of slices. Someone asks for one and you say, "Be my guest." That's a warm, genuine invitation. But what if it's the last slice of cake? Suddenly, "be my guest" becomes this act of generosity, maybe even with a little hint of sigh. Go ahead. And what if you say it while offering the only open seat on a packed bus? Well, it could even have a little sarcastic bite to it. It's all about what's happening around the words. Let's look at another one you hear all the time. Call it a day. Now, on the surface, this just means let's stop working. But the real, hidden meaning, that depends entirely on why you're stopping.
Think about it. You might call it a day just because, it's 5 o'clock. It's just based on time. Or you could say it right after your team hits a huge goal. Now, that same phrase is filled with accomplishment, with satisfaction. But then there's the other side. You can also say it when you've hit a total wall. And in that case, the phrase is dripping with frustration. I'm just not getting anywhere with this. Let's just call it a day. The reason changes everything.
Okay, detective, we're at the final stage of decoding. This is all about word choice. When two phrases mean almost the exact same thing, why does the speaker choose one over the other? Well, those tiny, subtle differences, that's where the real meaning is hiding. Let's compare drop by and stop by. They both mean a casual visit, but listen to the feeling. I might drop by later feels kind of non-committal, right? It's uncertain. Maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't. But feel free to stop by anytime. That feels like a much more solid, open-ended invitation. It's like saying, my door is always open for you. It's a subtle but really important difference. Okay, now let's talk about making contact. When you say you need to get a hold of someone, you're actually sending a little secret signal that you wouldn't be sending with other phrases.
So here's how it breaks down. Contact is your basic neutral word. Reach out to sounds a bit more proactive. You hear it a lot in professional settings. But when you say, I really need to get a hold of Sarah, you're subtly suggesting that Sarah might be busy or that she's hard to track down. You're implying there's some effort involved. It's a nuance the other phrases just don't have.
Next up, put up with. This one is so good. It's not just about accepting something, oh no. It's about enduring an annoyance. It has this built-in negative feeling, a sense of gritting your teeth. Just look at this scale of tolerance. At the bottom, you have tolerate, which is pretty neutral acceptance. At the very top, you have endure, which is for real hardship. But put up with sits right there in the middle. It's that sweet spot of active, ongoing annoyance. You're dealing with it, but man, you are not happy about it. The word choice tells the whole story of how you actually feel. So, there you have it. We've looked at tone, we've looked at context, and we've looked at specific word choice. We've gathered all the clues. Now it's time to put it all together. So what's the secret? What's the key that unlocks this whole code? It's not about memorizing 1,000 new words. It's about becoming an active listener. It's about paying attention to
how things are said, when they are said, and why a speaker chose those specific words over others. That right there, that's where the real communication is happening.
And honestly, this is why it really matters. Learning all these subtleties isn't just a language trick to make you sound better. It's about building a deeply human skill. When you start to understand the nuance, you're not just understanding the words anymore. You're understanding the person behind them. You're really connecting.
And with that, your investigation officially begins. I'm going to leave you with one final question to chew on. As you go about your week, what simple, everyday phrase are you going to listen for? What hidden meanings do you think you might uncover?